but I figure today we can go straight into working on our review. So last time, what did we work on?
On the book?
Yeah, we were working with forms of the word tread, right?
Yes.
Do you remember what a treadmill is?
Something that you can use for like exercising.
Yeah, you said in Korean it was the running machine.
Yes.
Yeah. And what about, do you remember what treading lightly means?
Walking lightly.
Yeah. Cool. And then some of the other words that we've gone over were, do you remember what vast means?
Very big.
Huge in area or in extent. That's right. What word means to offer to do a job? It begins with a V.
Volunteer.
Yeah, that's right. What word means very tired or exhausted?
Weary.
That's right. And in the story that we're going to go over today, they talk about a great victory. What word talks about a great victory?
Triumph.
That's right. Yeah, today we're going to be reading a story about the long distance runner. On page 238. Well, why don't we read Long Distance Runner?
Okay. The long distance runner. The flag is waved. The contest begins. It's a race to the finish until somebody wins. The distance is vast. The miles stretch on. But the long distance runners are already gone. Some runners tread softly, some pound on the track. They strain and they push to break out of the pack. Running requires a union of body and mind to keep up the pace and not fall behind. The runner feels weary, his body needs rest, but the race is a struggle, the race is a test. Will there be a triumph or heartbreak and sorrow? No matter, the runner can still try tomorrow.
That was great. Yeah, so can you tell me what that story was about?
About people who run long distances.
Yeah, about people who run long distances. Man, that seems like a lot of work. Do you do any running?
No.
I'm not very good at running, but one of my friends ran a 5K, a 5 kilometer, and people can run crazy amounts of distances here, but I am not one of them. But so on the next page, look in the passage for the words that complete these sentences. Hint, you have to use one word more than once. Okay. The first one is trod. So trod is the past tense of the verb
tread.
To step. What does the next one say?
Add the suffix ant to triumph. to get the adjective form, which means victorious.
So if you add ant to triumph, it makes triumphant. Like when soldiers come back from war, they often feel triumphant. What about the next one?
Weary is an adjective describing a runner's feeling.
Yeah, oftentimes runners can feel weary after they're running. And another one that we could use there, two words can fit in there. We could either use weary, or we can use the word we just made, triumphant. What about the next one?
Union is a noun with many meanings. The one used here is combination.
Yeah, union has many different meanings. I think last week we talked about how a marriage is a union.
Oh, yes.
But in this case, in the story, union is used as running requires a union of body and mind. So you're not just moving your body, but you also have to think about it. So that's why it's a union of the body and mind. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What about the next one?
The adjective vast is a small word, but it means something of very great size.
That's correct. You know, I've always wondered why English sometimes has really big words that describe one little thing, and then it has little words to describe big things.
Yes.
English is weird. What about the next one?
Add the suffix nest to weary to get the noun form, which means being tired. Careful of the spelling.
Do you know why they say careful of the spelling?
Not really.
So, in English, when you add an S to a word that ends with Y, the Y changes to an I.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so instead of being WeArYness, it would be WeAriness. Or
Yes.
it would look like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why English does that, but it's pretty consistent about that rule. What about the next one, the another meaning?
Another meaning for union is organized group.
One of the many meanings of union is organized group. An example of that is in schools, well, in colleges, there are often unions for certain groups.
Oh, yes.
But that just means that it's, you know, an organized group.
Okay. Defeat is a synonym for triumph.
Defeat would be an antonym for triumph. Yeah, defeat and triumph are opposites. I believe that they want you to use defeat as a synonym for loss. Or weary, maybe? Yeah. But that's a tricky one. But yeah, look at that person in the picture. They look pretty tired, don't they?
Yes.
like all gross and sweaty. But I mean, a lot of people take up running as a sport, so it must be pretty enjoyable. And the next page, 240, it looks like we're gonna be looking over triumphs. Great triumphs. A triumph is a great victory, success, or achievement. Each person in the first column has experienced a great triumph. Match the person to the triumph. Can you read aloud all of the people?
Yes. Explorer, long distance runner, 911 operator, labor union representative, ambulance driver, shoe designer, volunteer, firefighter.
Yeah, an explorer is someone who, explores things. And we just went over a long distance runner. A 911 operator is someone who handles emergency calls. So, like, if my house was on fire or if I broke my leg, I would call 911. A labor union representative. Yeah, that's a tricky word right there. But that's someone who represents or is the person to talk to about a labor union.
Yes.
And an ambulance driver, of course, is someone who drives an ambulance. A shoe designer, also pretty easy to figure out. And a volunteer firefighter, fights fires. So what's the first description?
Made an important agreement with a company that helped many workers stay safe.
Which person do you think that would fit with?
Labor union.
Yeah, the labor union representative. That's right. Yeah, because they represent the labor union, they were able to make an important agreement. What about the next person? Well, next description.
Saved a family from a burning house. Volunteer firefighter.
Do you think that would be a scary job, being a firefighter?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they have to wear all of that protective suiting.
Yes.
That must be really heavy. I wouldn't want to be one, but I'm glad they are able to do their jobs.
But I think, the most scary part is because, they could die.
Yeah. I mean, it would be so easy for them to get trapped in a burning building.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. I'll take my job teaching over that any day. And then the next one says, though weary, finished a marathon.
Long distance runner.
Yeah. What about the next one?
Put through an urgent call that got an ambulance to a sick person just in time. 911 operator.
That's right. Yeah, so when you call a 911 operator, you go, I broke my leg. They're the person who calls the ambulance, and then the ambulance gets to you. Yeah, in America, 911 is just your typical, oh no, something's wrong number. And the next one.
Saw a vast stretch of land that had never before been seen by human eyes. Explorer.
Yeah. I don't know how many places in the world have yet to be seen by human eyes because humans have gone pretty much everywhere.
Yes.
But I still think that would be a lot of fun, being an explorer. And the next one says, saved people who had been hurt in a car wreck.
Ambulance driver.
And then the last one.
Developed a kind of sneaker with special treads that guarantee the wearer will never slip and fall. Shoe designer.
Although I don't think there are any shoes in the world that would stop someone from never slipping.
Yes.
Oh gosh, the other day, I think I told you it snowed here a week ago. And there was lots of ice outside, and I was walking in shoes with really good treads, and I slipped and fell. And man, I hit the back of my thigh, and it was sore for like a week. But I didn't break anything, thank goodness. It was just, I had a bruise that was about, about this big. But ice is dangerous, so I don't think there will ever be a sneaker that will quite stop everyone from falling. But wouldn't that be cool?
Yes.
So this says, what's the title?
United we stand.
You'll see the words union and united used in words related to government and politics. Why do you suppose this is? Write your answer on the line. So why do you think the words union are used in governments?
Maybe because it's important to do it like with a group.
I think it's important that not just one person makes our laws, but that a group of united people do, because then different people can suggest different ideas.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. And then the next part says, fill in the blanks with the correct words from the box. Can you read the words in the word box?
Okay. United Arab Emirates, Union Jack, United Kingdom, United Nations, United States.
Yeah, so the United the United Arab Emirates, I think that word is Emirates, it should be. Union Jack, United Kingdom, United Nations, and United States. And the next section is talking about which terms go to which descriptions. So the 50 states in America, what are we called?
United States.
I think that one was pretty easy. And what does the next one say?
The Union of the countries of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, United Kingdom. Yeah,
I'm not sure why they're called the United Kingdom, But I know that all four of them together are the United Kingdom. And then the next one.
An international organization to promote world peace and economic development. United Nations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the United Nations is an international organization to promote world peace and economic development. They actually meet in the USA. I found that out a few days ago. Like, I mean, obviously they represent everywhere in the world, but they meet in the United States in New York, I believe. I thought that was pretty interesting. What about the next one?
The flag of the United Kingdom, Union Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once again, I'm not sure exactly why it's called Union Jack, but I mean, if it works for them. And the last one.
7 Middle Eastern states unified since the 1970s. United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, United Arab Emirates. Yeah, that's a little bit of a tongue twister right there. But yeah, I don't remember exactly which Middle Eastern states are there. I think it's like Iraq and Kuwait and a few other ones. But we normally just call them the Middle East. Yeah, we normally don't call them by... We probably should call them United Arab Emirates, but we just say blur 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 Middle East blur blur blur. And yeah, we do not have quite enough time to go over the next page, but when I'll see you next, I think I'll see you again on Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah, on Wednesday we can go over page 242 and we'll see where we go from there.
Okay.
So do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we went over quite a few pages today. So, oh, do you remember what weariness means?
Tired and exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but here's the tricky part. Do you remember how to spell weariness?
Yes.
Can you spell it?
Yes. WEARINESS.
Oh, that was good. I thought I was going to trick you, but you did great. I looked back at page 239 to figure out what I could quiz you on, and I thought that would trip you up, but no, you did great with that. And then can you give me one example of a union?
I think working as a union is better than working alone.
Yeah, that's a great example of it in a sentence. Another good example could have been, the United States is a union of 50 different states, or the United Nations. Or, like I said, my go-to example with a union is a marriage, because, that's a union of two different people.
Yes.
But it looks like we are almost out of time. So I hope that you have a good weekend. And I will see you on Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.